When it comes to the OODA loop, the ideal situation is to create a knee-jerk reaction that bypasses all the steps and just creates an action. So it starts at observation. The observation piece is just so visceral that it hijacks the mind and creates the action that the attacker wants. That may be hard to believe that something can happen like that, but I'll show you an example that's crafted around that exact thing. This comes from, I guess, about a year ago now, when in the U.S., where I am based, there was a lot of media coverage and social conversation around school shootings, with for very good reasons. There were a number of them, the Parkland shooting and a few others that were kind of copycatish after that. Horrible situation, and everybody would agree. A lot of tension, a lot of that being at the forefront of people's mind as they send their kids to school and as they make decisions about how they're going to conduct their day. And so that's the persuasion piece of this. That is in the orientation filter already because of all the conversations and context that's there presently. And you remember that I said we will interpret things differently, but depending on the conversations that we've already had that day, the context that's already been there and established, and that can be very transient. But this is something that had been, it's been at the forefront of U.S. conversation for a long time now, but was also very recently played out in tragic events. So people had the fresh media images in their mind and debates in their mind and everything else. And so anytime the worst happens like that, the psychological impact is very, very visceral because it's playing on a lot of different emotions, rightfully so. And so what this attacker did is that they crafted an attack that looks like it's coming from a school, and what they've really done here is that they've used ambiguity to their favor. And so one of the things that happens to us psychologically is that there is this thing I'll talk about in a minute called the curiosity gap. And social engineers will play on really any hunger that we have, whether that's greed, whether that's actual hunger, whether that's lust, whether that's needing to know information, and so on. And so one of their major triggers is to open a curiosity gap of, I'm giving you a little bit of information. You need to do something else and able to close that gap so that you're not in freak out mode anymore, wondering what the information is. And so they capitalized on tragedy, high emotion, and needing to know information in order to accomplish their goals. So this purports to be coming from your child's school. It arrives in your inbox, and it says that there's been a scare at the school. Click here for more information. And I'll ask you, so those of us that are on the line right now thinking that and these impervious thoughts of, I could never get caught in a phishing scam. I'm above all that. I've been well trained. I understand the fundamental dynamics of phishing and how that works. I understand the psychology behind it. I understand all these things. But I'll have you ask yourself, if you receive this email and you are a parent that just sent your kid off to school that day, what would your likelihood be of clicking the link just in a reaction mode? I bet it's very, very high, if not 100% of us that are parents, because we need to know. You have fresh pictures in your mind of how bad things can be. And now somebody's playing on that, and your hand and mouse will move before your logical process engages.